So, good evening, everybody, and thank you for joining us today. My name is Sapna. I'm part of the admissions and outreach team at Azim Premji University. Right. Today we have with us Subrat Mishra, who heads our placement cell, a placement office at Azim Premji University. As we all know, at the end of all courses, whether it's undergraduate or postgraduate, students look forward to joining jobs. That is becoming, more and more a reality for all of us, that we need, at the end of the courses, we need jobs, and we need good jobs, we need meaningful jobs. And Subrat is doing that for us. He's doing a wonderful job. In fact, the latest is that students are getting more than one job on campus, and there are more organizations and less students. That's a happy stage to be in. Subrat today will take you through what are the type of opportunities, what's the process on campus, a little bit of that, but more on what are the type of opportunities after different courses, how you can avail of those opportunities, probably how you need to prepare for those if you're in a course. And then we will also take questions at the end. You can keep writing your questions in the chat box, and we will all take them at the end, so that Subrat can continue with his presentation uninterrupted. Okay, so over to you, Subrat. Thank you.
Yeah, yeah. Thank you, Sapna, for that kind introduction. And I'm really happy to be here with the all upcoming applicants for Azim Premji University Masters programs. So good to have you all. Good evening to all of you again, and a hearty welcome to the session on behalf of Azim Premji University. As already introduced by Sapna, who is heading the admissions function of Azim Premji University, I'm Subrat. I'm leading the placements function from Azim Premji University. Some part of has been given by Sapna, but as a ritual, I will just repeat a few things. Like we have 1 hour today, so to make the best use of the time, there will be two segments. First is two segments in the today's discussion. So first, a small presentation I am going to make, not more than 8-9 slides, and then we can get into a long question answer session, because more than I speak, it should be that I should respond to your questions. And I hope that by end of the hour, you should be in a better position to have sufficient information to take a informed decision about doing master's program with our university. Yeah. So let's begin, and just allow me a second. I will share my presentation in front of all of you. Okay. Yeah, so I hope this is visible to all of you. So as already been the topic been discussed, so today's session would be career in social sector, more specifically to the careers that you may be able to fetch or to be part of after you complete the post-graduation program at our university. Yeah. So this my presentation also has two segments. First, one will be transformational information, which is the information on a higher level, and the second part will have some transactional information, which will have some information in very specific names, numbers, and other specific measurable things. Yeah. So let's begin then. So before we get into something, let's wanted to set the context that you all are pretty much aware of, but just revising so that we remain on the same page. So as an applicant for our master's program, you have shared your interest for this sector, yeah, and you have chosen this program, or you are opted for this program with your heart and mind towards it. And this sector that needs reflective practitioners, it's a professional sector, and the practitioners, reflective practitioner means the practitioners who can innovate, ideate, lead to address complex issues in our society. Yeah. So that's why we called it reflective practitioners. And Azim Premji University wants people like all of you, those who have applied for us, all of you, to prepare for the social sector. So the sector has its own challenges, but also it's extremely satisfying. It has got a very genuine reason why it is satisfying, because the every smallest of your action is going to improve the life of people and the planet around it. So though it has got a lot of challenges, but it's also satisfying and rewarding too. And then we can also say this sector is wide and deep. And what does that mean about it when I say wide and deep? Because it means that you will have bigger avenues to work in. Like you may engage in grassroots, like directly working with people, community who are in distress or in need, or at a policy level, like you can be with directly engaging with the bureaucracy or part of the government, or even at a government level, where within the government governance level, where within the government you can be part of the implementation of the policies or practices or programs. So there are different levels to it. It can be wide enough and it can be deep enough. That's why I said it is, the sector is wide and deep, and I believe that none of the other sectors could give you such kind of opportunities. Yeah. So on the pretext of this, I believe that any development practitioner must have three core things. And why I'm saying this, because you have made a mind towards it. So I believe that you all have, but just let me repeat this. These are three core things any of the development practitioners must have, which I would say I would use few Hindi or Urdu words, like first is hunar, then it is hosla, and then junoon. So the English that is written just below it, it's not exact translation, but somehow connected to the meaning to it. It means that you need skills plus understanding about the sector. You need your courage within to be part of the sector, the commitment towards the sector, and an absolute passion to mitigate the issues around people which are core for the sector. Yeah? So that's why I said it's your hunar, your hosla, and junoon. So these three things for any practitioner is required, and I believe that when you have made your mind to be part of this sector, you have already at least some of it, and the rest will be adding to it when you are on with our program. Yeah? So with that context, I'm moving to the next slide, which quickly brings you towards this sector. Yeah, the opportunities within the sector. So now in this context, let's see that what kind of opportunities one may have. Like we say that, okay, this is a rewarding sector, this is a challenging sector, but what kind of opportunities could be available? You might be joining for any of our master's program, MA development, education, economics, public policy, law and governance, and you all that then you might be feeling quite anxious about knowing what kind of job perspectives or opportunities may come at the end of this program. Yeah. So let's see what kind of opportunities available in the development for a development practitioners. Let me clarify one point here that when I'm saying development practitioner, it's not only focusing the MA development program. All the programs that you have applied for, it is equally part of the development sector. For example, you may choose education as a tool to work in the development sector. You may choose economics as a tool to work in the development sector. You may choose law as a tool to work in the development sector. That's what I'm referring to when I say the development sector. Yeah. Now let's come back to the slide, and let me tell you that the opportunities available in this sector, which I usually say and depict in the range of rainbow of opportunities, has multiple dimensions to it. So there is theme, there is role, there is organization, location or geography, population or sometimes target population or beneficiary, and then remuneration. So when you see this all levels within this opportunity or all dimensions within opportunity, like you can see that in case of themes, one has the opportunity to work on any of the topic or theme, maybe health, education, livelihood, ecology, empowerment, and there are many more. There are many more. We may not find one slide to limit all the themes, but there are several themes. And then in such kind of themes, while somebody is working in any of the organizations like NGOs, policy think tanks, or research bodies, government sectors, international agencies, the roles could be also different. It could be a generic program management in case of livelihood or health program or education program or anything else, or it could be a research based position, research and documentation. It could be policy analysis, it could be monitoring evaluation, and related to education, it could be school education, it is teaching, academic administration, curriculum design, or so many roles. Yeah. Then location is um, one of the dimension under the opportunities. So location could be anywhere. Yeah. So anywhere means any part of the country you can be engaged in this sector. You may work with a tribal population in southern part of Odisha in on health issues, or work with a backward population in Maharashtra on which is socio-economically backward, and for their empowerment. You can also work in any village in northeast improving their education, or you can work in urban setup in Tamil Nadu improving their livelihood skills. You can also work in the geography like Gujarat, working for the street vendors, or even you can work with the Niti Aayog as a consultant to the Planning Commission. So the avenues can be widespread. The avenues is endless, and you have all the opportunity to get engaged with it. That's why I said in the beginning that it's a rainbow of opportunities. Yeah. So this sector has when I say that the last part of this rainbow, when I am referring to remuneration, so this sector has actually changed a lot in last 3.5 decades. Say from 1980 or mid of 1980s, the sector has changed its face. Um, Usually, we see or the idea or the image of a social worker is shown as kind of khadi kurta clad, half beard, and jhola and all that. But this has changed because the sector has turned into a professional sector, and a lot of professional agencies, development professionals are working towards it. Now the sector is full of development practitioners coming out of best of the institutes and contributing in a professional way. So the remuneration or the salary or the earning one may should expect is decent, though it depends on your skills, expertise, and experience, but it's decent. And some part to it, or some transactional values to it, I will explain what kind of salary one should expect if you are going through the master's program with our university. I'll come to that in our next slides. Yeah. So I'm moving to the next slide. So if this sector has this, the sector is professional and have so wide employment opportunities, then how the Ajim Premji University can help you in achieving this? Yeah, that's the question must be coming to all of your mind. So let me tell you that there are 5 facets to it. The first, the university has a dedicated placement cell, which is highly active, and sometimes it is hyperactive also. That's why I use that term. Highly active in terms of its planning, its education, its outreach, and all that. Second, the university is growing, and so the placement cell also. As you wish to, as an university, we wish to have nearly 3 to 4,000 students in upcoming years in our campus. The placement cell is also getting equipped to meet this need. Right now, we have 1,000 plus students, roughly 1,300, 1,400 students, and soon we will have 4,000 students. Keeping that in mind, the placement cell is also growing in that manner. Third, the placement cell is ever expanding. So, in terms, it is connecting to more number of organizations, it is preparing students with more number of functional skills, and then more number of students are getting involved year and year after. As the university is growing, number of students growing, and their involvement is also growing. So we are expanding. The placement cell doesn't run with just out of emotion. It has a meticulous process into it. It has laid out its process, how the registration can happen, how the outreach to the organizations can happen, how the students should be facilitated to build their functional skills. All such things are already laid out and been practiced year and year after. And this is also improvised year and year after. That's the best part of it. So every time we have a new learning, we improvise the process to make it further best in the next year. And the fifth part, which says about our outputs. So the placement cell has been very successful till now to provide outstanding outputs in terms of year and year after by giving meaningful and potential jobs to our passing out students. So the lower image in the slide shows about how our growth is going on. Yeah. So I've mentioned that growth is a snowballing process. Those who have seen snow mountains or can assume snow mountains, if you roll a small ball of snow from a top of your mountain, as it proceeds, it gains speed and size. That's how our placement process also looks like. So it started with a smaller batch in 2011, some 50 to 100 students on campus that time. Slowly, with the increment of the numbers of students getting involved into the organizations, and when I say the mark A says that alumni is getting involved into the organizations. Those organizations, knowing our student capacities and perspectives and skills, are more interested in our upcoming batch of students, then they're involved in the process, and so on. It's a rolling on process. So as we are expanding with our alumni base, which is right now 2,500 plus, who are doing exceptional work in the field, they are our brand ambassadors, and we are getting recognized among the social sector more and more. So we are more connected to the organizations. More than that, the placement cell also has its dedicated outreach officers and ambassadors who can take the organizations or the institutes work towards the sector and find more and more potential organizations. So it has been a growing story so far, and it will keep on growing as we are very confident about it. Yeah. So let me give you like now all these broader things and broad prospects, what the university has for you, what the sector for you. Now let me take you how we fared. Now it's in terms of numbers and facts and figures. Let me take you how we fared in 2021, which definitely was a COVID hit year, and the batch that passed out little late by July 2021. Let me tell you how we did with them. How did well or not so well with them. So as we say, the placement cell does student preparation modules. So we had a dedicated student preparation segment. Then we did outreach with 3,000 plus organizations across the country with a lot of follows, emails, call, posts. There's a dedicated team that goes on doing it to find the best of the organization for our students. With all that, we had 94 organizations, little short of 100 on campus. But there are also a lot of off-campus opportunities, which means that the organization may not feel like coming to campus, but they are interested in our students, where we connect our students with them. And the organizations have different layers into it. There could be government bodies, government functionaries. There are not profits or say NGOs. There are for profits, foundations, corporate social responsibilities, schools, and so on. Yeah? So these all type of organizations were flooded on our campus last year to the number of 94, and they were also offering variety of roles to our students depending on their program, their background, their learning, their expertise. Different type of programs, which a major part is program management, of course, but there are other things like policy analyst, academic administration, research documentation, campaigning advocacy specialist, monitoring evaluation roles, and so on. And then where are our students working? Let's take example of the 2021 batch. So the batches, I can see the almost all part of the country, they are spread out. So in a number that ranges from, somewhere it is dense, somewhere is less dense, but they are present even far east, northeast, Manipur, or even northernmost like Uttarakhand or even Himachal, yeah, and southernmost Kerala, Tamil Nadu, of course. So this segment says that our students are always open to travel, always open to explore. That's what they have been taught in this program. That's what they have been they have been inspired to be part of it, because everywhere, every nook and corner of this country have some or other issue around people, and where the development perspectives are active and alive, and our students should be part of it. That's why it's the reflection of the placements there. In terms of package, which we do not usually highlight, but let me tell you, as you might be thinking that, okay, what kind of salary I may get if I'm spending my 2 years hard earned time there and contributing to this engaging program, how much salary I should be expecting out of it. So this salary is something indicative. Let me tell you, this salary is about more about the freshers. There is this significant segment of people with experience on our campus, but this is more about the freshers, and based on the experience, this goes higher. So the median salary, which was 4.2, precisely 4.25 lakhs last year, was around a 10-12% increment than the previous year. And similarly, in terms of average, and then highest salary. Highest salary was little fall compared to the last year. Yeah, but this is on a broader perspective. With experience, like I said, with experience, it may go even higher. Yeah. Okay. So now, post this snapshot, let me tell you that how we have been saying, when I was saying that we started the process since 2011 with the first batch with 100 students on campus, we have covered a long journey since then, a decade old. So just cutting short it to for last 5 years, you can see now it is uh, self-explanatory. Now you can see the 2022 year, which is still ongoing because we are in the very first week of placement. We have started on 21st Feb. We are in the first week, so I just put in a star that it is ongoing. It's not yet over, but all previous years are done. You can see there's a significant rise in terms of number of organisms that is visiting the campus, almost double from 2017 to 2022. You can see how vigorously outreach we do. Then the average salary increases because the quality of organism also improves. And then the other part of the salary, like for the freshers, the significant the salary is coming from the new type of organizations. Of course, all the organizations are part of this sector or involved in the sector. Yeah, that's the main agenda or the core value we used to value. You might be thinking, do all students get placed? Then the answer could be the bottom part of this slide. When you see that the placement percentage is kind of consistent, 95% above, and we can say that each batch on average we are able to place 98% by the time campus placement happens, and those who take part in the campus placement. There are some instances where beyond the placement also, beyond the campus placement time also, the placement cell extends help to the needy student to get placed, because there are sometimes few of our students, maybe after appearing multiple times, they find it difficult to get absorbed. So placement cell takes care of that on an individual level also. So we always try to attempt that all our students are being placed in the sector for a rightful career and a productive engagement. So this slide says you about the number and all, which I was trying to explain in the previous slides. So let me move to the next one, which says about this year specifically. Yeah, again it is numbers. It is about the placement 2022. So the number of organizations registered as on date are 108, and we are expecting that there will be more organizations because it is just the beginning of the placement. We have been seeing lot of new organizations coming up, new avenues coming up, lot of new offers coming up. Let you can see that there are possible 700 plus offers for a batch that is interested to take part of placement is around 450. So it's almost more than 1 or say 1.7 times of the number of students if they wish to take, and the salary has also significantly increased. But the type of roles and domains which have gone into a more qualitative mode largely remain same, and some additionals are there. Like with our economics batch, we have found organizations who are really looking forward to economists or analysts. For our public policy students, we have more think tanks on campus who can offer such kind of challenging research analyst roles. For our law and development students also, there are legal specific to the social sector jobs are also available on campus this year. So that's quite a wide in the range. And if you see that how many organizations are really looking forward to or open to take experienced students, then the number is around one third of it. So every one organization, every out of every three organizations really looking forward to the organization and students with any experience. Sector experience is valued most, but any other experience is also valued. So we have a platform where the freshers also can take part into it, and as well as the experienced students can also take benefit of it. Yeah. So that is how the placement 2022 looks like. And just two more slides before we get into the question and answer session. You might be having a lot of questions. Let me give you a glimpse of what are the organizations we have on this year. This is, let me tell you that this is only few among those. So if you see, the one of the best and the biggest type of organizations are already there. There are think tanks like Sattva Consulting. There are government agencies like Karnataka Livelihood Mission, Jharkhand State Livelihood Mission, Bihar Livelihood Mission, Rajasthan Livelihood Mission. There are international bodies like Aga Khan Rural Support Program and their India operation. There are consulting firms like Access Livelihoods. So many. You can see, I'll keep this slide for some more time. You can see a lot of high value organizations are partnering with us for placements. Yeah. And there are also very grassroots organizations like Amar Seva Sangam, Youth Council for Development Alternatives, yeah, even Casper Microfinance, Antarang Foundation. So these are all very much grassroots based organizations. They are also part of it. There are international schools. There are national level organizations like Pradhan and Foundation for Ecological Security. There are consulting firms. There are for-profits foundations. There are government agencies and so on. And this is just a glimpse of what we have. The organization, when I said that there are 108, this may be covering only some 30-40 organizations on this slide. Yeah. So this just to give you a sense that we are better placed in terms of placement and we are improving every year. So finally, this is the last slide before we get into the discussion. So this sector, this kind of a final statement, you may also see that getting involved in the sector is not just about a job. It's definitely a job, but it's a lifetime commitment because you have chosen a great cause to be part of it. So let's be with it. And to support that, we means the Azim Premji University, we are playing a responsible, committed, and progressive roles towards it. But it's not enough to place any of the person, any of the student, or any of you into the sector just like that. You also need to complement to it. You also need to build your academic understanding, being part of the program, learning it deep and nicely. You also need to expose yourself to field experiences which are part of the program, integrated part of the program, and then preparing yourself for the sector. So this is kind of a complementing position, like what the university is going to offer and what is the university going to expect from you. So if it comes together, I'm sure there will be a rewarding and fulfilling career awaiting for you. So I'll take a pause here, and that comes to the end of the slides. And now we can open the floor for any question that you may have. And if I missed something, I'll be happy to answer you there. Okay. Okay. What kind of, that's a question. I'm just reading out from the chat rooms that been filtered. And let me, before we start into it, let me tell that we may not be able to take all the questions, but similar question. I will try to answer, gather some similar questions and try to give specific as well as generic questions and try to cover all your queries that might be running in your mind. So when the question comes about what kind of package we expect, as I've already explained, the packages are specific to the organizations, and we always try to get best of the package on the campus. And like I've shown that it has significantly increased this year. It is not yet over. In the beginning, it may be little premature to analyze with all previous years, but a decent package of, say, for the freshers we are seeing this year, we're just expecting this year that we may be reaching around 5 lakhs per annum. But that, like I said, that could be very premature. You shouldn't hold me for that if we fail that. But we are trying to do that, and the packages the organizations are committing this year looks significantly well. And if you have experience, and that it goes on as per the organization policy, as per your experience level. Yeah. So that's something basic we should say. But let's also remind all of you that it's an average package. I said that could be little lesser than that because there are grassroots organizations which may not offer this much of salary, and there could be some students which may not come with absolute adequate skill set required in the sector. So that it's a mix and match process, but a decent salary for even a moderate to average student is available. When I say it is 4.5 to 5 in the range for this year. Then another question comes in. It says about what characteristics of the organization characteristics do the organization look for students while hiring. So the specifically, broadly, let me say, if not theme specific knowledge or something, any organization who wish to hire would really look forward to a person who showcase commitment and character in himself. Character in himself means passion, commitment. Like I was saying in the beginning, your hunar, hosla, and junoon. So that is required by the organizations. Whether you work in whichever theme, whichever role, any organization will look forward to person as a long-term investment. So they are here to hire a person for a longer period of time. So if you are able to showcase your interest for the sector, your ability for the sector, then the organization is ready to hire you. Technical thematic knowledge definitely is required. Your skill sets, like your maybe computer skill set, your language abilities, your articulation abilities, presentation and interpersonal skills, those are of course required. But the first thing organization look forward to, are you committed to the sector, and can you be trained under their circumstances? These two things if are there, then they can build more upon you, broadly speaking. And then specific to organizations, they, if organization coming from a school, of course they will look for a teaching kind of experience or expertise. Yeah, so those specifics are always there, but I'm saying it is generally, so that I try to answer that question in some way.
ठीक है सुब्रत, मैं आपसे अब पढ़ती हूँ
Yes, yeah,
क्वेश्चंस।
please.
एक और है कि what type of preparation do we do on campus, as in is there any coaching, training, workshops available to prepare for the interviews?
Yes, yes, certainly we do. See, the placement is not a semester-wise event, a semester's fixed event, though it runs in the final year of your all postgrad and undergrad programs. Of course, the LLM students will have only 1 year, so that year is there for final year. All other master's program have 2 years, so their involvement in placement cells preparatory part starts in their final year, meaning beginning of third semester. And in that semester, we always used to come across with lot of skill building programs and workshops, to give a general view of the sector, to give a general understanding about self. I mean, how do you prepare yourself, even to how to make a CV, how to approach an organization, how to appear for interviews, how to write assignments or essays. I mean, not academic essays, I'm saying programmatic essays. So all such, and how to involve in a group discussion, all such kind of preparatory workshops are part of the placement plan. And that's why we say that first function is student preparation. Unless our students are ready for this sector with their functional skills, even like learning Excel, R, Stata, whichever is available, and whatever students can consume up to, we do that. And we do that meticulously for roughly 3 to 4 months, because the semester itself is 4 months, we can go beyond that. And before they go for that field engagement, final engagement, because once they come back from final engagement, in their final semester, the organizations will be on campus to hire them. So there won't be any chance further to build the skills again. So we try to do that. Beyond those kind of group activities, we also have one-on-one mentoring. I was saying that we have more than 2,500 alumni working across the country. They have immense knowledge and skill with them, insights with them. So we connect our students with the alumni to build perspective about the sector. Also on campus, the teaching, non-teaching faculties come on and mentor the students, preparing them for mock interviews, preparing them to understand our council for the social sector. All such kind of one-on-one to one-on group events are already in the plan. I mean, in the plan, and we keep on adding new avenues to it, learning from the previous year.
Thank you, Subrat. That was good. There is another one, that can we apply for government ministries and international organizations like UN, UNICEF after a course in public policy?
Yes, I mean, see, yes, specific to public policy, of course, yes, and any so for that matter, any other program also can do that. The UN bodies or international organizations, we haven't have that those on campus so far. Usually UN bodies don't visit our organization, because visiting campus for placement also a policy of the specific organization. So if it matches, only they will come, otherwise they may not. So yes, with the public policy, you specifically have chance to work with government for sure. Many of our public policy alumni have been working with governments, like the CM fellows in Haryana, in Delhi, in Chhattisgarh, in Jharkhand, in Andhra Pradesh, and then many. Beyond that, also there are many government bodies that come. Like one example I was showing in the slide, if you have missed, And there is APCFS, there is Andhra Pradesh Financial Corporation, which is under the Ministry of Finance. It's a government body, and our students, our MA Development, Economics, and Public Policy students are working there, and that brings immense contribution to the function, which is directly engaged with the Ministry of Finance. So all such kind of avenues open up. Yes, with public policy, definitely it increases your chance, even the international bodies. But like I said, international bodies are not on the campus. It has to be an off-campus approach by the individual students.
Thank you, Subrat. Or I would just like to add that the international bodies, including the ones that are mentioned here, UN, UNICEF, and also things like Asian Development Bank, yeah, World Bank, they normally have positions on contract to start with. And it's always on the website, so you can apply directly. We can, of course, facilitate you with recommendation letters, etc. You can apply and try a chance at it, but they start with 1 year or 2 year contracts, right? So that is on the
Yeah,
international body. They
yeah,
don't go to any campus to hire
yeah, yeah.
directly.
Yes,
Okay.
yes.
So
Right.
another interesting one is that will the age be a problem to get campus placement? Somebody
No.
who is like already 40 years, but we welcome such students for our MA programs. But will that be a problem to get placements?
First answer and straight answer to this is no. There is no problem as far as your age is concerned. Organizations look forward to even senior positions like director of the programs, vice president operations. Such kind of roles are available. Sometimes they find some senior people, they take it. If they don't find, they go empty handed. But we, like Sapna said, I will add, we really welcome such kind of people. Let me give you one small example from this present batch, which is passing out in 2022. One person with 25 years of armed first aid experience is studying with us. Yeah. So, and previous years also we had retired government servants studying with us. Yeah. Or I mean, any person worked in social sector at grassroots for 20 years, then come and study with us, or a medicine doctor for that matter. So there are a lot of people coming with such a high experience, which whose experience are valuable for the sector, and organizations do value it. So first of all, there is no restriction from any organization, and you should be preparing yourself to come and join this beautiful program.
Okay, that was very nicely answered. Yes, age no bar.
Yes, yes,
And okay, another interesting one is that what are the chances for further studies? I guess they want to know that if somebody, not everybody would get into a job. So, further studies, what are the options, and probably how does the campus help them, get into further studies,
yeah,
like a
yeah.
PhD or something?
Yes, yes, yeah. Not many. A few of our students do go for higher studies just after the program, and some also go in the middle of their career. So that's fine with us. For higher studies, of course, I mean, none of the universities can be called to campus to hire our students for higher studies. So higher studies is a part that where our students, we encourage our students to get along with their school, I mean, respective school, either school in development, school of education, wherever you are part of it, and you can discuss with this our faculties to get a proper way ahead, because most of our faculties are I mean, eminent scholars and researchers in their sector, so they might have connections with universities or bodies which they may be more in a better place to help you out. Placement cell will there to help you in any term that is required in the back end, like providing you bona fide certificate, or connecting you to the right universities, or giving you some more information about it, or connecting you to the right kind of faculties. That we can do, but that much actually we can do. But we are open to help any student going for higher studies with any support we can provide.
Okay, thank you, Subrat. That was very clearly answered, right? And there was what the other. There are a couple of questions that are related to the exam, the entrance exam and application. So I will answer, and
Yes.
meanwhile, I would request all the other attendees to keep putting down the questions. We will then take all of them as well. So just a quick update on the admission process. The application form is live now, as most of you would know, which is why you are here, and most of you have filled the form also. Those who haven't, please hurry up for the next 2 3 days. The exam is going to be online. It is going to be online. Somebody asked a question, so I'm just telling it is online. So the choice of center doesn't matter, right? So yeah, but otherwise, yes, you can change your center. Even if it was offline, you can change. After you join, most probably the classes are going to be in-person classes, because currently our batches, all our students are with us and they are attending the classes in person. So by the time you join in July this year, that time hopefully the corona will not be so bad, and they will be offline classes, because that is the best way to learn when you are actually here, right? So those are the questions regarding the test, and the test is on the 13th of March, and it will be online test. So hurry up and fill your forms. If you haven't completed them, I would request you to complete them, and then we will do that, right? Okay. So that is the questions regarding the admission process. Okay. Now we will take more questions regarding the placements, because this session is on placements. There are repeated questions on government jobs. So one was the government agencies, and the this question earlier had come up also, saying that government jobs can we get out of after this. One is in government agencies, like you said, the CM fellows, and those type of jobs with the ministry. Sometimes they're project based, sometimes they're contract
Yes.
based. But then there are proper government jobs which are
Yeah.
lifelong jobs,
Hmm.
and a lot of our students, a lot of us are actually interested in such jobs also.
Yes.
What are the
Such.
chances of that?
Yeah. Yeah. So of course, government will never come to campus to hire people. If they want teachers, they will float a common tender and common notice, and then everybody has to apply. Yes, as a master's program holder, you have all the right and eligibility to apply for government jobs. Whatever you are looking forward to, like few of our students. I mean, I can give the example of I think three batch old or something, 2018 pass out, I guess. They are working with Department of Information, sorry, Intelligence Bureau also. So with that sort of job is available. Few of our students have actually went back to the state government to apply for it, to become a teacher and teaching in the government schools. But all such kind of jobs, one has to go through the regular government process, and placement cell has no role into it. Like if you look for a banking job, you look for any bureaucracy job, anything, that only its own effort. All any kind of information or preparatory, if it is required, maybe we'll be able to extend some, but not much, I would say.
Okay, thank you, Subrat. This is a good one, actually. What kind of support is provided for students if they're interested in setting up their own venture?
Yes, that's a really a nice question. I was waiting for such kind of one. So there are certain ways. So you'd be happy to know that we have a social enterprise cell that's quite active and functional within our university. It hosts idea challenge every year, and the idea is related to social sector. So it invites people across the country, from the universities, from individuals, organizations, who can come up with some innovative ideas that can change the life of people around. So with that vision mission in the back, we also promote that our students go back to community not just as a job seeker, but a social entrepreneur. So our programs have electives and open courses for that to support it. There are several faculties who have their background in a social enterprise. They can be your mentor to give you out. And beyond that, you can also learn from this social enterprise challenge. I mean, social idea challenge we are hosting. A lot of ideas you may get into it. There's a panel with which you can always engage with. You can also create your own innovations. If it comes to funding, then university doesn't have a straight funding towards it, but there's a fellowship that runs from the Azim Premji Foundation, and which any of our student freshly passed out, or alumni, I mean longer passed out of last 5 or 7 years, anybody can apply. But there are some specific geographies fixed to it, and there are specific themes fixed to it. You can always apply. That fellowship is for 2 to 3 years. Any fellow can use that fellowship to build his or her own organization during that period of time. Post that, post the 3 years, the fellowship doesn't get repeated, but you can further apply it to another avenue within foundation, like we say, that is Azim Premji philanthropic initiative. But these are all merit come mean based modes. So your idea, your effort need to be at that higher level to compete with a lot of others and to gain it. But yes, the information, there is no dearth of information from where you can gain the skills to build your own enterprise, from where you can secure funding to run this. All that information is abundant with us. Lot of discussions happen in a lot of forums, so we really promote and propagate our students to get into it. And we will be happy to know that several of our students who have started their own enterprise few years before, they have been doing very successfully. Some are in, one is in Tawang, Arunachal Pradesh. If you have heard that place, that's very close to China border. Somebody is in Majuli Island of Assam, that's near to Brahmaputra. Somebody is in Bangalore. Somebody in Chennai. Somebody is in Indore. So such kind of locations are actually having our students' enterprises there, and they're doing good. And the best part is they are coming back to campus to hire our students also. So that's I'm very happy about. Yeah.
Okay, there is one more. I guess we've answered most of them. If the English communication skill is not very great, will it affect the chances of getting admission and then I guess a job too? So
So Sapna, you can take it about admission, then I'll take about the job.
yeah, so actually, yes and no. Actually, no, because the paper is in English and you're expected to answer it in English. But that is where it stops. It is not very difficult English. And so you can, if you can write this and you can understand the session that we just did, it should be enough for you to write the exam also. During the interview also, it is possible to do it two ways. Like most of us understand other languages also. You will have panelists who understand Hindi, who might understand sometimes Tamil, Telugu, and then you can have sort of a two-way discussion like that. But and then we also have English language support courses on campus. So by the time you come to placement, you will know English enough for the placement. We will teach you that all our courses will be in English. We do English language support courses, so you will do that. Yeah. Subrata.
No, no, you have already answered to it. I mean, I was about to say that only. Your journey in this campus for 2 years is going to make you comfortable in English. I mean, you may not be turning into a scholastic English at that level, like none of us are actually, but actually managing our working level of English would be there, even to better extent to it. And organizations are open to consider students without English knowledge also. But let me also tell you that that's one at till one level you can enjoy that freedom. But at a senior level or mid senior level, when you will be leading a team after some years, let's say you are joining an organization in 2024, and by 2030 you will be into a senior program manager position. While you lead, while you interact with the donors outside or organizations outside, you need English language. But that's fortunately, unfortunately, that's kind of the official language right now. So we have to get into that. But don't worry if it's not going to stop you. But definitely, it expects that you have, you acquire some English knowledge before you come for placement, and we are there to help you out. Like Sapna said, we have a dedicated English language learning center with us, which is a one semester based program. It's a very impactful program. All our students part of it have benefited from it. And if you are also feeling little weaker in terms of English language, you can take benefit of it too.
Thank you, Subrat. This was very good. I think we have answered most of the questions. I think some people who've joined a little late, the recording will be available on YouTube. The YouTube's the same link that you used to log in. The recording will be available, so please go through it. And then, if you have more doubts, you can ask us. The exam, I'm repeating this for everybody here. The exam is on 13th of March. It will be online, so then the center does not matter. You will all get notification of the exam very soon, at least a week before the exam, so that you know what are the timings and what is the mode for logging in, right? So all the best. All those who haven't applied or completed the application, please do so. Please come and write the test. And we hope to see some of you in our university in July when we start a session. Okay, thank you so much, Subrat, for such an informative session, and thank you everybody for listening.
Thank you so much, Sapna, for arranging this. It's pleasure talking to all the students. And let's just I'm just assuring in addition to what Sapna has said. So the placement cell is there for you if you are on campus. Thank you.
Okay, thanks.